Recapping last session, so you all had you were leaving your investigations into some missing people, picked up Dem, and we're just heading back and got a distress call right away on the edge of the asteroids that was coming from Narama. Something he was in trouble, you needed to help, so turned around, went and sought him out, and found him within an asteroid, a small cavern. Another area that kind of seemed a little, like dug out like many of the others that you've seen before, but this one was a little more of a natural, not like the mining ones of the cartel. But you came and found Narama there. I don't think you recognized it initially, but you saw the figure, and then upon inspection, you saw him laying there, and something else next to him. It turned out to be a skeleton. And upon look, you see that it was a skeleton that seemingly matched Narama's species. Had the extra appendage like they do, and then in the skull, you could see the extra sets of sockets for the eyes they have. Just trying to figure out what's going on, then all of a sudden you're thrown into this vision of sorts, multiple times, experiencing a few different versions of a vision, sometimes more than once in the same one. Each time a different viewpoint on a certain world. Basically the same thing happened. Destruction of the world. Seeing it once from a marketplace populated with all these other creatures, which I think we did learn are the Obli, the species of Narama. So in the marketplace, seeing this dark cloud in the sky, and then something shoot out from a temple or a facility or something in the distance, and going up, meeting, and then just disrupting and destroying the world. Another, you went and talked to in the temple, and talking to a bunch of people in robes and who were carrying out some sort of ceremony or whatnot. And again, in the distance, you see this launch of energy go into this darkness, destroying the world. And lastly, you did run into these scientist philosophers, as they were called, were the ones that actually caused this beam of energy. And you saw an object that looked very similar to what you know as the dark staff. But this beam of energy, they were trying to dispel this darkness above them, as they thought it was a threat, but it turned out that it definitely backfired, and came back and destroyed the world. In each vision, there was a single shard that kind of suspended there after things happened, and you guys figured out that you should probably grab those. And once you did, you came out of the vision with the shard that came along with you. Anything else didn't seem to. When you went back into the visions, if you had grabbed the shard, things changed a little bit, and you interacted with some people differently. The scientist philosophers, when you talked with them, they did provide you some information on basically a lot of things that have been going on, the disappearances of people, the shadow lurkers that were reaching out to people, trying to communicate, the disappearances of objects and things. And they told you how all the Obli are stuck in what they call the continuum, something similar to the Force, they said, with just this limbo in between, as this destruction of their world caused them to just be suspended here. And now in possession of 3 shards, they provided you with ways that you can, send them on. Either through channeling any dark energies, senses that you possess, and send them, their essence fully to the dark staff. You can look to the lights, channel that energy, and cast them out to be guardians, essentially, watchers of the system. They also mentioned that you can call on both the light and dark side balance, and that will fully set them free, move them on from their current state. And then lastly, very hesitant to provide this option, but said that you can trade a life for one of theirs. You decide that option, and Obli will actually come back into existence. You came back again into real time there in this cavern with Narama still recovering from whatever came over him. And then eventually, as you come out of this vision, you have a message from your droid friend telling you that, hey, there's somebody is here. And unfortunately, in the time spent in these visions, weren't able to have enough heads up. And a group of believers, you're come to be often thorn in your sides, comes in to try and take you out. Potentially after the shards, something else. After initial tussle, Lan, who had been from an initial vision that kind of sent you guys on this initial trip, Lan had really not woken up from that, but in the 11th hour was able to come in and potentially save the day, providing support to the group in the cavern, and just add that one extra piece. You're able to dispatch all the believers. And with them taken out, we now stand there in the cavern. Narama getting his strength back a little bit better. You guys have just completed that encounter. We pick up there. I know last time we mentioned looting, so if you guys wanted to do that.
Yeah. Loot.
While they're taking a look at the loot, I was gonna run over to Narama, check him out and make sure he's okay.
Okay. Yeah, he's not. He's as he was. He's not worse. He's just kind of whatever is ailing him. He's kind of sitting up, grumbling, but yeah, he's definitely not
recovering.
Worse. Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Still woozy, out of it, whatnot. Whoever wants to kind of go after some of the see what you can find on the fallen believers, give me investigation check.
Oh gosh, never mind then. Got that nice intelligence.
Yeah, you never know. Get that 18.
Yeah.
Let's see if Narama's taken care of and he looks like he's recovering. I'll lend a hand with checking out the bodies, mostly looking for med packs or something.
Okay.
Sure.
So their equipment, their weapons and things are pretty easy to find. Just going around, you find a shotgun, a vibro mace, couple vibro axes, slug thrower, and lastly a heavy blaster pistol and a hidden blade. And Valen, you do find on one of them 2 med packs.
Oh.
Okay. I didn't write down that other stuff, so I hope somebody
else will.
did.
Yeah, I've got it written down, so I can post it in the chat later. Dak and Valen, give me a D2. Mighty Ducks.
Quack, quack, quack.
All right.
I love how they roll.
Right. Valen, now give me a D12. All right. So, little bit, you and Dak, a little bit more thorough in your searches of the bodies. Dak, you don't really turn up anything else, though, of note. But Valen, you find a data card on one individual.
Okay. Hey, Lan. Think you can put your technical expertise to work? And hold up the data card.
What man if I do?
I'll hand it over to him, and does it look like a standard kind of issue thing, or does it look important?
Yeah,
Is that even something you'd be able to tell?
it doesn't. Yeah, it's from what it looks like. It's nothing.
Just a
Doesn't
thumb
seem anything
drive.
crazy unique. Yeah, essentially.
Okay. Okay. Just trying to see if that might be an important one, or maybe the others have something like that on them too. But for now, I guess that's what we got.
Just like a sand disk sort of deal.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so Lan,
No.
your initial look at that, you kind of plugging in, trying to read what's on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
just plugging it into my wristband.
Yeah. You pull up what looks to be some like financial information, financial data, like banking information. Seems to be just an individual account for likely this person that was in possession of it. Yeah, they believers isn't a great paying gig apparently. There's just few hundred credits in their account. Yeah.
There's like a lien on their property, and then there's a whole bunch of other like past due bills and shit.
Oh no.
We inherited their debt.
Oh no.
Jalen looks like you've inherited this guy's parking tickets, the lint in his pockets, and a few hundred credits. And I hand it back the sand disk.
It's like, well, okay. I guess that's I guess that's something. It's like for now, none of them looked like they were Force users or like the other believers that use the Force. Do they?
From initial glance, no. They just
Okay.
seem more like
Just want to make sure there's no sabers or something lying around that we
Right.
didn't find. Other than that, I'm like, are we sure they were alone? Like, was this it, or are there more?
I mean,
We
we
should-
should probably check their. I assume they came on a ship. Yeah.
Well,
Lan,
it's the
give
asteroid
me
belt. Who knows?
Lan, give me a perception check.
I think it'd be fun if they didn't come on a ship.
So, Lan, when you're rushing in, you still of the mind to kind of look around, and you did notice a little bit out of the way that there was another ship that had come down, but you just kind of ran in towards to the fray to help out.
And didn't want
But
to
you
go
did
check it out
notice-
before.
Yeah,
we died.
you did notice that was in there. About this time as well, you hear some grumbles from Narama there in the cavern. Kind of, what is going on? What happened?
I suppose we should tell him now rather than later. Todd, was he there with us, conscious, going through all this stuff? Like seeing the
No,
people?
I don't think he was.
This is something just the party
Yeah.
experienced. Okay.
I don't think he was.
Okay.
I think at one point you said he was
He might
there,
well,
but
he might have
he
been. Yeah.
didn't interact with us though, so I'm
Right,
not
he's
sure
just
if he
kind of
was...
tag along.
Yeah. So we'll give him a very quick rundown of exactly what happened, and he's probably just as confused as we are. He's like, but
Yeah.
ultimately we have a decision to make. We have to do something with those shards.
Okay, sorry. He did come along. Yes. So he had seen a few of those things, and a
okay.
combination of just his state kind of seemed to carry over, and then also there's probably just a massive shock for him to kind of, because you probably could gather this from context that he's never actually met anyone else like himself as well.
Right.
I believe that it was explained that he's essentially manifested by the essence and whatever else of the Obli.
Yeah.
There's a stupid video I saw of like this guy, and he's like, there's like a woman, and it's like, Joseph, what is that? It's a cake, Mary. A cake? Where'd you get that? I baked it. You baked it? Yes. But Joseph, we don't have an oven. Do you see how crazy that sounds? So good.
Oh gosh.
He was put on some sort of ark, floated down
Wow.
the hyperstream, and ended up.
So, anyway, yeah. So Narama's he's kind of confused, and he does kind of make note of the fight, and you know, gives a general nod to you all, and thanks for that. Kind of nods towards the shards and says, "So what do we do with them? What now?"
Well, I know what's not an option, or at least one I'm not going to let happen. So I guess the question is, what are we going to do with the other 3 options? What do you think? These are your people, after all.
As you
Gotta
kind
have
of
some
think
sort of
about this,
opinion.
as you guys come together, who's got the shards again? I think Dem, you had one.
I had
I think
one.
I think I've got the other 2.
You got
Yeah,
the
I
other
don't
two.
think I
Okay.
have one. So.
Yeah, and they've all at this point turned solid black, put it
Yeah.
all together. But you guys hear, just kind of amidst this conversation as well, you hear almost like a voice that you might recognize as some of the Obli that you had spoken to in these visions, but just some words kind of echo throughout your minds. Nothingness, watchfulness, restfulness, life.
Weird.
Like, well, Narama, is there one you favor? You've got to have an opinion. These are your people, after all.
It is something too great for me to even fathom. Of course, sending them to the darkness is not something I would do.
No, me either. Nor
I
will I let it
also-
happen.
I also cannot ask any of you to sacrifice yourselves, bring someone back.
It's like I personally am in favor of putting them to rest. Would be nice to have someone watching over the Kalaran system, but at the same time, they've suffered enough. They need to be at peace. Finally, either be brought back to life or allowed to go on into the Force instead of lingering. Like, I don't know exactly for sure, but I would imagine that they're the cause of most of the odd problems that happen in this asteroid belt.
Yeah, I'm getting that sense.
Yes,
shadow
I think
creatures-
it was their way of trying to communicate with us.
And that shadow creature, Todd, is that one we recognize as the same one that we encountered and released?
Earlier on, not necessarily.
Or similar?
Yeah, you're not sure if there's a relation to that or not.
Okay. Like, but either way, I'm prepared to put them to rest. If need be, although I'd have to call upon the dark side and the light side to do that, which might be a little tricky. I am a good little Jedi, and I don't know any dark side techniques because I don't need them, but maybe there's another way for me to search, pull something up from below.
Thinking back to the visions, all of you, you might recall, some of the specific mentions of what needs to be done. The scientist philosophers basically did say, call on both the light and the dark, and we will go to rest. And he seemed to address, Balin, as much as it might challenge you to think about calling on the dark side, you wouldn't be alone in this. I feel that it's going to take more than one person to do this. More than one of the shards needs to be broken.
Doesn't necessarily need to be someone using the Force.
No, not necessarily either.
Okay.
That helps.
Yeah. Well, looks like I'll handle it all.
Yeah, we're gonna go place a Bach. See you later, Valen.
Well, Dak, Lan, Dem, what do you guys think? I'm ready to put him to rest.
Yeah.
I think that's the only right thing to do.
No time like the present.
Yeah, that option seems to make the most sense.
I am in favor of giving them life. However, it seems that in order to do that, someone will have to die.
Willingly.
That as much
Unfortunately.
as good as that might be. So from our understanding, only one of them would come back from that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So unless it's a
1-to-1 ratio.
female, that's not even a viable species sort of thing. So it would be a fleeting hope at best. I mean,
There's
I
literally a
hope-
war outside of your doors of millions of clones, but
Yeah.
well,
Well, I guess
True.
technically they're dying willingly, so
Maybe we could take Narama over to Camino. Get some clones made.
Yeah, there you go.
but at that point,
Oh,
it's not
yeah.
natural. But either way,
okay.
I think it would feel wrong to go that route, even though it makes, it would feel good. It would be a good
Yeah, but who you
thing for
gonna?
them, but it feels wrong. Like it.
I mean, you
There's
got to find somebody to willingly die, and you're sure as hell not gonna be me. So unless one of the three of you wants to offer it up.
Well, I'd never ask you guys before I ask myself, but like I said, it doesn't feel like the best thing or even the right thing. It just feels like it would be something to make myself feel good, which would kind of cheapen the whole point instead of doing it for the noble cause of bringing them back. Besides, I'll just point to Narama, like, they still live. They're still here. But I don't honestly think I'm strong enough to bring myself to do that. Not at this point. It doesn't feel right.
Think a life for a life ain't fair. They had theirs. It's over now. Eye for an eye makes the whole galaxy blind, and the oblique got enough eyes. I'd say we let them rest.
Oh, that's one way to put
Lan,
it.
fucking inspo, man. That was beautiful.
How many eyes do they have? 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
An eye for an eye for an eye for an eye. Makes the world go on.
Narama, he kind of adds in and says, "This is not my choice. I will honor your decisions." He looks to you when he finishes his statement, Valen, and just kind of gives a nod, and you get a sense that he agrees with your initial thoughts on what to do.
Well, if we're gonna do this, we should probably get it done before these things fall out of our hands. I think with that, Valen's just gonna hold his hand open for a crystal, one of the shards. I'll get it
Oh.
started.
I'm not giving up mine.
Now you want one of these. Before you were too afraid.
Well, now that we know what they are,
Mm.
Mm.
With that, Dak will take one of the shards and toss it towards Valen.
Valen will hopefully catch it.
Don't worry, kid. If the force is the only thing that can break these things, I don't think your bad coordination dropping is gonna cause it.
Fair enough.
Give me a sleight of hand check if you want.
Oh god. Just shatters on the ground. Oh, there goes a third of the souls. Oh no.
I bring
Turns
you
out-
these 10 commandments.
Turns out they were totally wrong and they're super fragile.
Oh no. Yeah.
With each of you now with a shard, Valen, you feel as you grab that, you get some sense of something, just something you kind of felt within the visions and whatnot, and you have three of you have one now. Knowing what you must do. One half of that may be easier than the other half. So, as you, Valen, if leading the charge, perhaps calling on the light side to channel that energy in first. Give me a wisdom check. Dem and Dak as well.
Okay.
Gosh. Oh.
Just wisdom. There is no emotion. There is peace.
Gosh.
Oh, God.
Yep. We're going. I was
You did-
hoping it would be a save. 'Cause
You did better than the Jedi.
I'm better at those. But
There's a little bit of a pulse of energy and light, brightest from Dak. It seems that he has really been able to channel his grasp on the Force into. But now you must, hopefully not slipping, channel the dark side to create the balance and destroy the shards. To send as you expect, send the Obli to rest. So give me wisdom saves this time, each of you.
I'm gonna use force of personality
Can I just
make it a charisma save instead.
Yeah, so can Dak just dip into it and go charisma?
Let's see.
No, not for this.
Okay.
We're gonna go.
What's that ability say, Dem?
Let me. I think I remember how to paste it here. Oh no, never mind. It's when you would make a wisdom saving throw, you can instead make a charisma saving throw, and you can use this feature a number of times equal to your charisma modifier.
Okay. All
And
right.
regain all uses on a long rest. So, but it didn't really help either way
Yeah,
because I got a
did
7.
not.
That's
I'm
what
rolling
yeah,
bad. Oh.
I use charisma usually for my force casting.
So again, the pulse gets brighter and brighter, and there's almost this like high-pitched hum or something. You feel the shards in front of each of you begin to almost vibrate, and then Dak just it shatters in your hands, almost into a dust, and kind of just falls to your feet. Valen, yours next. Same thing. Cracks, shatters apart, and falls. And finally, Dem. Hers again pulses slow and slow, but then eventually it does, and it bursts and falls to the ground as well. They shatter. It's a mix of silver and black vapor that spread throughout the cavern amongst you, as they do as well. Eventually, it settles, and in the silence that follows, you hear gentle voices, far, seemingly far, far and away. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thousands and thousands of voices calling out. Dem, give me a D4 real quick, please.
Okay. Do. Oh, if it'll go. Hello?
Oh, what the? Just one. He's froze.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Frozen.
I just came back to this. I was off the tab and I came back and just saw like 15 D4s laying on the table. I was
You,
like,
like,
what happened?
He froze, and so now there's like 1,000 of them. Oh.
Okay, there we go. I was like, why isn't it letting me? You guys all froze, and I was like, oh, well.
You already rolled. You rolled
Oh, okay.
like 20 D4s.
gosh.
It got stuck.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It was just like, what's going on? Okay, so you got a D2.
Okay.
Or a 2, I should say. As after this vapor kind of dissipates and whatnot, and the voices, you guys are looking around, almost wondering where they're coming from and whatnot. You look over at Dem, and you notice that her face, her skin looks a little like rough, older, maybe. Maybe if, any scars any cuts or bruises that you maybe have sustained at any point in your life, Dem, almost seem to resurface. Just something about you has changed a little bit.
That's unsettling. I'll tell them that I've suddenly noticed this.
Say the others might notice it before you.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, but
You look like shit. What happened?
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I already got beat up, but it seems like it's just worse.
It's like, actually, I've been meaning to do something about that, and I'll walk up to Dem and I will twin cast Force Heal on
Yay.
her and myself. It's 1d8 plus 9. I'll roll it for you. That's
Alrighty.
yours.
And thank you. That definitely helps.
14 here. Perfect. Yeah, me too. I was looking at that going, oh. So now, looking at her face, Linda, like, looks a little better.
It actually does not.
Oh no. Lovely.
These scars and whatever else, they seem to still linger.
Now, scars, are they like, would I recognize this as some sort of corruption or?
Give me
Malevolence?
a wisdom check.
Okay. Oh, now you get above 20.
And yes, this is something potentially, and I'd say, given very, very, very recent events of what you guys just went through, as a time as a Jedi, and with that comes studying the other side of the Force, just to be knowledgeable of that sometimes corruption of the dark side can cause negative physical effects to the user, to the person.
For now, they'll just say nothing, but just kind of like, you look all right. Don't worry about it. We'll deal with it.
Do you know what caused this? I'm sort of freaking out a little bit over here.
I was like, well, okay. I mean, I didn't really want to say it right now, but
You can save it for later. I'm just like,
yeah, that would probably. I mean, we should probably get out of here before we do any of that. I don't. This place
Okay.
gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Narama is now standing up. He just comes in closer to the group. Says, "My friends, I thank you for what you did for my people. They're no longer under the sway of the Dark Staff. No longer forced to do anything to keep themselves alive. While it might have been nice to know them, I have other people. I am of Kalaran. You are of Kalaran. That both of these statements are true makes me very proud. Thank you."
Happy to be of service. Are you gonna need help out of here? I'm sure we've got room on our ship for you.
He gladly accepts that and says, "If you could take me back to my lead ship, that would be appreciated."
Although I probably should have asked the captain first, but
I mean, I'm sure he's.
I'm sure he's very well aware of the situation and, very amicable.
Yeah, it's all good. Bring on anybody you want. You brought that damn monkey lizard already, so who might say no now?
Get a couple clones, we'll have ourselves a traveling circus.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Did I know you said Lan noticed on the way in there's another ship. Did Lan ever mention that to us?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Lan would have, as we're walking back, just kind of said, "Oh, by the way, there's another ship here."
What the hell do you mean? Oh, by the way, there's another ship here.
Well, it seemed like we had bigger fish to fry. What with the fate of the entire Obli species.
he makes a good point.
It's
would keep-
still, it's just in passing. Hey, guys, maybe we should speed this up. There's more of them. Hey, there was another ship I noticed on the way here. We're sitting here messing around trying to destroy crystals, and some guys show up with blasters. That's a surprise I'm not looking forward to.
Me
Well,
either. But to be fair, the
suppose the
situation has
moral
changed. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
As I say, the situation's changed. If they come here looking for those crystals, we'll just tell them where they are and let them go find them. And then we will leave. If we let them pass, maybe they'll leave us alone and then we'll just get out of here and they can figure it out for themselves.
Yes, I'm sure the Brotherhood seem like the real trusting sort that we say, don't worry, the crystals are just back that way, and they'll just go on their own and let us pass.
They hate Jedi, not you.
Well, I guess that's something we both have in common.
Oh.
Oh,
Phelan's just... Oh. Okay.
so sad.
Fine. Pull out my saber and just kind of put out a big pouty lip. Just look at the ground. Fine.
All right, let's just get the hell out of here.
Wow. Not even gonna apologize.
Narama still.
It's good. It's good for him. It builds him up, toughens him up.
Narama's
Tough-
still recovering, just kind of staying back, avoiding awkwardness of the group dynamic. Tags along. You guys head out of the cavern, coming back, seeing some familiar tunnels on your way in. You come out to the little, surface canyon, whatever, where he had came down. Still maybe surprised by the fact that the small area does have atmosphere. But you get to your ship, and you notice right away, Lan, you would notice there's no other ships here when you come out, other than your own.
Oh, you said there's another ship, Lan.
There was. I
Didn't Narama have a
suppose they
ship?
left.
Yeah, didn't Arama have a ship here?
I could have sworn.
He actually,
They took their own ship and Narama's ship
Wow.
and the one they came in?
Just how many ships were there here?
The believers are
30.
kind of a operation running short on cash. Maybe they need to take that other ship for scrap.
They're stealing ships.
Hey, free ship.
Yeah.
Side. That's for the.
I might have totally been mistaken, but I could have sworn
Oh,
that.
sorry. Yes, a
on the
one.
way
Oh,
in.
there is a one-man shuttle.
Yeah.
So that. Sorry, that is there.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I was like, what the
backtrack.
heck?
Narama could fly out himself.
I mean, probably not a great idea, given his state, but
Yeah. Like, given the state you're in, Narama, it would probably be better if you flew with us. We can keep an eye on you. At least make sure there's no lingering effects from that place, and who knows, maybe Lan will enjoy a nice game of sabacc with you, or I'm sure he could use some credits about now. He'd be more than happy to give you his, I'm sure.
wow.
That would be grand. Thank you.
Do you have anything on the ship you need to get,
No,
or a way to get it to follow us?
to be honest, it is not of my concern. It's almost as if I don't recall bringing the shuttle here. Just as well leave it be.
I was gonna ask you how you ended up all the way out here by yourself on this asteroid.
I've asked myself that as well.
And you gave yourself an answer?
Considering what we've all gone through, I don't think there's need further wonder.
That's probably a true statement. A lot of odd things happen out here in the asteroid belt.
Do we have a chrono around at all? Can we make sure that the date is actually the date
I
that we came in
I
on?
have one on me, at least.
Is it still, what year were we? 20?
You've gone back 20 years in time now.
We've gone
Whoa.
back.
Okay. Everything
Okay.
looks like time has passed normally, including the time that you were in the visions. Like if you had, it's still that same amount of time. So
Okay.
no weird time effects here.
So these shards weren't like the dark staff, at least.
Right.
Whatever we did didn't seem to disrupt the space-time continuum.
Somehow Palpatine has returned.
Like, he's still
No.
here. He never left.
But you are now
I have
40
returned.
years
like,
in the.
Yeah. Oh no. We're in the wrong timeline.
So, coming aboard your ship, Ufta greets you all, and hello, masters. Good to see you all. Did everything turn out okay? This other ship here took off a bit ago, and we have a guest.
Yes. Ufta, this is Narama Ufta.
Kind of nods his head towards the droid, and the droid does the same.
Everything went as well as I guess it could go, beyond some things, and I'd sort of just motion to my face.
That is
You'll be fine.
great to hear. Great to hear. I wouldn't mention that it seems we have a message. Incoming transmission. Or whenever.
Yeah, maybe we put that on once we get a going.
Yeah. Dak will go ahead and head to the cockpit and start the takeoff process. Get off this rock.
All right, excuse me. Everyone settled in. You
On
do
screen.
so and are able to get up and off of the asteroid here and head towards Narama's main ship to drop him off. Do so.
Okay. Yeah. Like Dem said, like once we're in I was gonna say in the air, once we're in space, we'll hit the comm and see what the message is.
Okay. Doing that, holovid comes over of a bust of an individual. Looks a little affluent, wearing some fancier robes and whatnot. And you would, because I think you did meet, yeah, you met this gentleman. You recognize it as Armand Olin, father of hello?
Yeah. sounds right.
Sella, that you had rescued her cat for. And he says, Dak, what is your... thinking Vanix, but that's the other one.
Oh, my last name?
Yeah,
Dak Joran.
Joran, that's right. This is Captain Joran, and this is Armand Olin. I hope all is well. I have a delivery that I believe you'd be interested in, as I know you said you're interested in work. If willing, simple transport of some resources from the droids on Uffle out to a starport in the Lantillis sector. Lantilla sector. If able to get this done, please let me know and I will make arrangements. Sella, by the way, says hello.
Hey, all right. That's all I needed to hear. I guess we'll continue our course to drop Narama off, and then yeah, because assuming Narama you don't need anything, we've got a few matters to attend to. I'm sure you could use the rest after all that.
He once again super grateful and says, you have earned quite a favor today for what you have done. I very greatly appreciate your help and your selflessness in this. I will not forget this. And he hands over a token to each of you. That will grant you, each of you guys, one-time use advantage on any kind of like charisma check. Basically, kind of flexing his name.
All right. Put that with my cartel coin. We got one of those too, right?
Yeah. And then he heads off into his ship. You guys are able to take off and go from there where you like.
Yeah.
So
Dem, you weren't part of the crew yet when we had our adventures of Killer, tracking that wanted fugitive. But
Oh, wow. That sounds serious.
gotta say, yes, it was quite harrowing experience. Lan can tell you all about it. But yeah, we met an individual, got some contacts, and it looks like those are starting to pay off with a little bit of a job here for us if you guys are up for it.
Yeah. I have nothing better to do.
That's the spirit. Valen, Lan, anything else better to do?
better? I don't know. But for the moment, I'm on this ship and you're in control of it, so that kind of
Well, I
narrows
mean, I
down
can-
my options.
I
pretty
mean, I
much.
I mean, I can drop you off if you really didn't want to come with us.
Yeah,
it's,
thanks.
it's cold outside. I'd prefer to stay inside the ship, but
Well,
Balin,
yeah,
are you
I'm down.
being held here against your will? Blink twice if you are.
all right. Well, that's that. And Dak will send word back to Armand that the spry hunter is on board.
All right. So after you send that, communication comes back, and he is glad to hear that you're interested in the job, and says that head to the main droid city, if you will, there on Uffle, and meet with so you go to X2-4 is the main city there on Uffle, and you will then meet with one of the representatives there and let them know about the details. He's provided details of the job, the cargo. Get that loaded up, and then he's also provided coordinates to where you're taking the cargo to. Basically, details are to drop it off there. It's being transferred over to somebody else to go from there. Antilla sector. You'll be heading to, after you pick up the parts, going to Nyx Depot. NYX Depot is the station.
All right.
Sounds
Send
easy
back.
enough. Should be a piece of cake,
Don't, yeah.
space cake, you know.
Just one of those cargoes where we can ask what it is and you'll tell us what it is.
Yes.
Mm.
So
Didn't
what
they ever tell us
exactly
it
are we
was-
transporting?
So you would know that Uffle is basically a droid-run planet. There's a massive droid, production manufacturing facility there, solely operated by the droids on the. Actually, I think a moon. Yeah, it's a moon of Nereus. So yeah, you likely and I think he had previously mentioned that he's been doing some dealings with the droids, so you can assume it's something related.
Just didn't want any surprises, that's all. I trust him. It just you want to know what you're transporting. A crate of thermal detonators gets handled a little differently than a crate of processing chips.
Mm.
All right, so just heading right there.
Uh,
I mean,
yeah, I guess. Are we getting a rest or anything along the way through all
So
of our travels here?
you know that the trip to Nyx Depot is going to take about 24 hours. So
yeah.
you definitely have time
Okay.
there to be able to.
All right. So I can take a long rest on the way.
Yes.
All right.
Perfect. And then on the way, Valen will find Dem. Be like, hey, got a minute?
Yeah. I'm just staring into a mirror. Yeah, what's up? Huh? Yeah, what's
yeah.
up?
About that. It's, I believe, corruption from the dark side. What we did was harness the power of the light and the dark, both sides of the force, and channeled it into those shards to destroy them and set them free. To do that calls upon the light inside of yourself and the dark inside of yourself. What I can only guess happened. It's not an exact science. It's not even really a science. More a feeling that I'm fairly confident of. But when you called the darkness up, it kind of leaves a mark, a corruption almost. It's like it could happen to any one of us if you call upon the dark side hard enough. And there's tales from thousands of years ago of really malformed Sith from calling on the dark side for too much, and it does all sorts of horrific things to the body. It corrupts the
Oh,
flesh
great.
and the soul. But no, there's good news. If it was really bad, it would have just killed you. Which is why I just thought it would be better to get on the ship and get out of there than it would be to explain, you're fine. I mean, maybe it doesn't look so good now, but are you familiar with calculus at all? And trend lines and things like that?
Yeah.
It's a blip. We'll get it back to the trend line. I know in the past that usually when people have touched the dark side, they've tried to compensate for it a little bit by maybe tapping into the light or doing good deeds or things of that nature. So,
I thought this was a good deed. This is what I get.
well, unfortunately, you had to draw upon both, and the light doesn't work exactly the same as the dark. The dark likes to play tricks. If what would heal with the dark probably actually hurts.
I knew I should have used it. Inspiration. I mean, what? Yeah.
Dem, give me a wisdom save.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
if you could, if does that ability apply to saves?
Yeah, it's only to saves, not to checks.
Okay, so then Prism if you want then.
Okay. Let's try this again.
Gonna
Oh,
keep
God.
getting. Is he standing there?
talked-
Valen's like,
I
it's,
talked to him
it's,
when he dies.
it's okay.
Yeah,
It's not that bad.
Croak.
He keeps
Oh, God.
corrupting.
Well,
keeps
that's a
corrupting
14.
more and more.
Yeah. Yeah, I wither away before. Okay, that's a 14.
All right.
With, my
So
uses.
come back to this in a second.
Okay.
And just wanted to squeeze this in first. It would happen probably before all this, but
Okay.
you guys head to the to Uffle, grab your cargo, and are able to pick that up. That gets loaded to your ship. The droids there, the service droids, loading droids, not hand that off. Able to head out after just verifying that you're the person to pick that up and everything.
All right. Well, so far so
Sweet.
good. They even loaded it for us.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Okay. So now you guys are able to have your rests and whatnot. Valen, you have this discussion with Dem, and do you think you'd have that before or after the rest? Probably right away.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I can't actually.
You still
get
have
back
probably
into
a
long rest.
couple hours.
Yeah.
The goal wasn't to hide it from her. It was just
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like not
Yeah.
here, not now. We need to get out of here and go.
Yeah,
so it would have been
definitely.
almost immediately.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
letting her know
Yeah.
what's going on, not to worry. It could get bad. It could get.
Yeah.
But I think it'll get better. You just have to think positive and.
So
I do
Awesome.
appreciate
you
it.
have this conversation, then you guys stop at Uffle and grab your cargo, and then work your way out of the Kalaran system, and then getting to the routes that you can find to jump towards Nyx. After you all have had time to rest, Valen, you notice that there's a little bit more of the presence that Dem might give off has lessened. Is definitely seeming to kind of correct itself. And Dem, you might notice, and some of you others might notice as well, is that the visible scars and whatnot, or markings, they look like they're healing. Be the right word. They're still kind of there, but they're. You notice that soon after that they seem to be getting a little better, but they're still there.
Does it look like normal or like an abnormal rate of healing? Like sped up or slowed down?
Maybe a little more sped up. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, really, it's a thing that like these are all scars. So like scars don't heal,
No, but
scars are a scar. So
right.
yeah, you see them kind of going away.
They're just fading out
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dim, looks like that good rest did you some good. You're starting to look less like shit.
Sort of like looks at herself for a second. And says, yeah, I guess I am a little bit. That's at least somewhat comforting.
Odd way to put things, but yes.
Yeah,
That's,
you know.
it's like, how
Sort
do
of.
you feel though? I think that's the
I
the more
mean,
important one.
fine. Yeah, that's
I mean,
been
it's not a trick question. I'm just asking.
yeah.
Like, how do you feel?
I mean, I feel fine. It's been an eventful few days, but yeah, I've been, you know, I'm doing all right. Definitely
There
doing.
would not be. You didn't feel anything in the first place. It was just that
Yeah.
kind of physical look, and then there's not really any change.
Yeah.
So,
So I'd say that. I'm like,
yeah. You guys have some time if you want. If there's anything you want to do on the ship during your travel, it at least give you 8 hours towards an activity that you want to work on that you'd be able to do on the ship.
I need to figure out how I can actually do a long rest on Foundry because it's not doing it.
Is it giving you an error if you hit it?
It just doesn't do it.
oh,
I click it. I do new day, not new day. It's not doing it. I don't know if it just needs to reset or what, but
Yeah, I just
Might
tried it
try
too.
and-
Oh, nope.
oh,
I just manually put everything up. I can't do it with the hit
Okay.
dice, but I can do everything else back to
Hmm.
full. I don't know why.
something weird.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of manually do it, I guess. Did you
Yeah.
reset or refresh?
Yeah, I refreshed,
Yeah,
tried to do it, and
okay.
it didn't do anything. So it might be on your end or whatever. I don't. It's all fine.
Weird.
I put everything manually. So
Okay. Anything
Um,
you guys want to do for a quick 8 hours?
I want to at least go check in on Jib and make sure he's not tearing the place apart. And
Yeah.
get him fed, clean up, and train him a little if he's willing.
Yeah, he's been
Lan-
doing good.
Lan, you want to continue your sabak lessons here?
Well, only if you promise to teach me more than you take advantage of me, using me as your piggy bank.
That's how you learn, Lan.
Experience
Yeah.
is the best. Experience is the best teacher.
Yep.
You
I've
have to
already
experience winning it.
enough.
You've experienced enough losing already.
I've experienced you taking my money too many times, Dak.
All right.
Give me a free round on this one.
All right, I can do that. Once you get your skills up to where they need to be, you and I can go run some tables.
I'm looking forward to that. Winning for a change.
Balin, so as you go back and work with Jib, beginning to really build this bond with him, trying to just, continue that obediency and whatnot. Give me a wisdom check, please.
It's probably the greatest undertaking in Jedi history. Trying to tame a Quakian monkey.
Oh.
Oh no.
No.
It was a check, right? Not a save?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so give me a D100, no bonus.
Oh no. Oh.
Yikes.
So, you just
Backwards.
Yeah, you have a lapse in concentration with this. Maybe the recent events have set you off, but Jib doesn't want to cooperate. You're just having trouble connecting with him, and there's just no progress in your attempts at working with him at this time.
Like, sorry, buddy. I'm trying. I know it's a little weird, but oh well. I'm only gonna give him half a ration. Just
Ooh,
if he's not
that's the
he's
way
not
to win him
behaving.
over.
If he's not
Starve him.
behaving, he's not gonna get the treat for doing it right, but he's still gonna get fed.
They'll get a complication of you getting murdered in your sleep.
I have the vibro daggers locked up in in the locker. And the combination
I don't know.
is, I don't know what kind of combination we have, but I'm hoping he can't get into it.
Dem, is there anything that you want to? I don't remember. You working on anything?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I should be working on here.
Okay, we can come back to it. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't have. I forgot to pick up like kits and stuff, so I don't have any of the things that I'm proficient in to just tinker with. But
and then a few hours. Lan and Dak, playing some cards and whatnot. Lan, give me a. What have I done with this before? It says if it's tool proficiency, it says ability check appropriate to the tool. Probably intelligence. Give me an intelligence check, Lan.
Since I'm assisting with him, does he get advantage?
Nope, you're just his teacher.
Oh, okay.
All right, so D100 straight.
Okay.
All right. So, you've paid attention and you've learned a thing or two up to this point, and you kind of get double the jump towards proficiency in so specifically you went Sabak kit, right? Gaming set, Sabak set. Okay. All right, so that puts you at, I got to convert 10 weeks was 400 hours, right? 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
You had 2 days, which is 16, and you just added 16 more. The 8 hours doubled. You're at 32 of 400 hours. Getting there slowly but surely, but you have a jump
Thanks for
there.
more valuable lessons there, Dak.
Anytime.
Everybody give me intelligence checks, please.
Well, you know how this. Yeah. Let's see. Yep.
You're getting close to coming out of your hyperspace route outside to the to approach Nick's depot. Coming close. Lan, you begin to get a little bit of a thought in the back of your head about where you're going, and star maps, kind of appear in your mind. And just with everything going on in the rest of the galaxy, you guys have been pretty isolated in Baran. But, there's lots of news obviously going on with the war throughout the galaxy. You remember that you're pretty confident that you are going into an area that is currently pro-separatists.
Do we have any spare clothes, coveralls handy? Might be better if I'm not so conspicuous. I can handle the saber just fine, but the robes are a dead giveaway.
Yeah, I'm
I've
sure
got a
back.
blanket.
I'm sure.
A blanket.
Sure, there's
Wear a
some of
poncho.
the some of the work clothes we used to working on the ship back in the engine room area there. You can grab.
Perfect. Valen will go slip back and grab those. Just
Try
kinda
to
throw
use a
'em on.
disguise kit on you if I had one.
Don't worry, they teach us a little bit of this stuff in the academy. Not a lot, but some. Valen's just gonna go smack his head on the drawer and look like he's a little beat up, smudge some grease all over him, and
There you go.
superficial, nothing actually hurting, but
You still have the
look like a grease monkey.
Padawan rat tail thing going.
Oh, I do. Can't really cut that off.
Maybe you can pin it up with a nice beret or something. I don't know. Wear a hat.
I know. Something with
got any sort of a scarf or something I can wear, like a head wrap? Just kind of throw it over.
Len,
Here's some
offers you a blanket.
here's some old shop
Yeah.
rags.
I'll take the blanket. Thank you, Leia.
Oh man, this is fantastic.
And then I'll get one of the vibro daggers and a blaster kind of set on it awkwardly. It's on the wrong hip, like it's not even my, like I wouldn't even pull. It's on like the same side, so it's even
Oh
more.
no.
And then the lightsaber, I'll try to take and tuck up into the sleeve. It's got the collapsible mod, so it's
Okay.
a little easier to hide on me.
Yeah.
and still stay within reach, but out of the way of people who might be prying. Now I'll go to the others and be like, well, do I look like a Jedi now?
No more than usual, I suppose.
I don't know how to take that.
No, now you just look like a square, but
you,
without the magic.
You
Okay.
you blend in just fine, but just remember, if anybody catches on he's a Jedi, he was just some transport cargo we picked up on the way here. We don't know him.
Some transient
Just some hitchhiker we picked up.
Yeah.
thinks he's a Jedi, waves his hand around at things, and
Yeah, we'll play with the you're not really. Yeah, we tried that once before, didn't we? The you think you're a Jedi, but you're really not.
Ran into somebody else who thought that.
Oh yeah.
I think we did those guards. We did put on a little show for them. But yeah, as long as it looks passable, I think I'm done with my disguise.
Yeah,
It's mostly just to keep people from not. It's be able to defend ourselves. But if the wrong person looks, I don't want them to, I don't want them to see a lightsaber hanging from my belt. I'd rather they have to do some work to figure it out, if you know what I mean. And if anybody
Yeah.
knows who we actually are and is looking for us and knows our faces, this is not going to help at all. So, but it's to keep the general riffraff from looking too close.
Hey, listen, no one's looking for me that we would find here.
well,
So I'm just saying.
is there something we should know,
keep up
Dim?
your- What? No.
Yeah, I thought my holding out on the dark side corruption thing was a little weird, but now I'm having something you want to say?
No, that's a joke. We're fine.
Was that a joke?
Yeah.
Or do I think that's a joke?
Roll
I'm willing to
insight.
believe it. I'm willing to believe it. I think it's probably true. Phelan will just laugh. Ha ha. That was good.
All right. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, that's fine. No one's after me either, so it's all good.
Yeah, you feel pretty comfortable in yeah, just a joke.
It's
Just
yeah.
a joke.
You guys joke. You
It's
know?
only been a couple days, I think, really, that you've had Dem along, but you've certainly picked up on her force personality or her charismatic natures.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a joke.
You might also wonder if
Not the funniest joke,
if
but
she's
it's a
even
joke.
yeah, it's more if she's even smart enough to.
Must be that new like edgy
Wow.
comedy that-
I got street smarts. That's what counts. I'm rough and tumble in here.
So as you come out of hyperspace, you see the space station floating there before you. Various traffic coming in and out come down, and the traffic control calls ahead to the ship. Attention, Spry Hunter. Please state your business. You do make note that it is a droid
yeah.
voice on the other end.
Oh.
Yeah. Say, do we know who or where we're delivering the cargo to?
I, to an extent, yeah. Essentially, they'll take it to like a holding facility on the station, and then somebody else is picking it up. You're dropping it off to one of the holding
Oh, okay.
sections. Yeah.
All right, I
Did
guess we just. Oh, go ahead.
I was say, did we pick up from Nick's Depot? Is that where we picked it up?
No, you
Yeah,
picked
that's
up
where we're
from.
heading.
Taking it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We picked it up from Waffle House, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Waffle House.
Yeah.
The Droid Run Waffle House.
Yeah. It's yeah, just dropping off cargo for third-party pickup.
Please transmit over manifests, documentation, please.
Gosh.
Beep 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 beep. Beep. Send.
Send that over, and a few moments go by. Voice comes back. Confirmed. Please head over to Section 12. You'll be landing down in Bay Orish 7. Auric? Is it Auric?
Yeah.
I need to learn the...
A? Is it A?
Let's go with Kresh. I know the letter
Okay.
Kresh. Yeah.
Kresh.
C. I think it's C is Kresh.
Crash.
Kresh 7.
There you go.
Acknowledged. Heading to Crush 7.
This is so much easier when you're not smuggling stuff.
Did you notice that droid didn't give us the right letter of the place we were going? I have a bad feeling about this. Just be careful. It's probably going to
Maybe
be
it's his first day on
occupied.
the, on the job. You don't know.
Its algorithm's off by like a couple characters. It's just
Yeah.
shifted slightly to the right.
He's got a machine learn it. You know how it is.
So you come down to the station and head towards a specific sector, and then landing bay, as commanded to do. And, you see it's a just a large open landing port with as you even come down, you can see loader droids and whatnot running about, getting prepared, as this is clearly a section of the station that goes through this process multiple times in a day and whatnot. Come down, make the landing, and immediately droids are coming up to get ready to unload cargo. Give me a perception check. Actually, you don't even need to. You will see. Sorry, you'll notice at the main kind of entrance or exit from the bay, there's two droids that are standing there. They look to be. You would probably recognize them from news reports and whatnot. These are the Separatist battle droids, B1s, that are seem to be standing guard at the entrance exit of your.
All right. Now, take it easy, Valen. Don't get any thoughts of being a hero and taking out battle droids.
As long as they don't fire on us, I have no intention of even letting them know that I'm here.
All right. Now you got left behind during this whole Clone Wars thing, so didn't want you to seize this as your opportunity to help, contribute to the cause.
Yeah, I don't think dying on some random world against a bunch of droids no one was ever going to fight would be a good contribution to that cause.
That's one of the smartest
that
things
was-
I've ever heard you say, Valen.
If I was going to do something like that, I might as well have given my life up so that one of the Oblique could be alive.
Well, I mean, after jumping into that accolade pit, I wasn't sure just how highly you valued your own life.
You mean jumping in there and heroically rescuing all those people from death? Is that what you mean? Because that's what we did. I don't remember dying from any accolade. In fact, it didn't even come close to us. If I recall, you're the one that shot it in the head.
Well, there's a good chance that's the case, but just saying, you were the one that decided to jump in there first before we had a plan thought out, but that's neither here nor there. It all worked out in the end.
I'm able to think on my feet. That's all. Besides, if I hadn't done that, there'd have been a bunch of dead people.
Maybe. But
I go where the
regardless,
I go where the
just-
force takes me.
A droid comes up to your ship. Is there who calls out asking to speak with the captain?
oh, like from outside the ship.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Guess with that, Dak will go to the landing ramp and say, "I'm the captain of this ship. What can I do for you?"
Greetings, sir. Welcome to Nick's Depot. We will begin the process of unloading your cargo for you, moving that over to the holding station. It may take a little bit. We must also process through and match it up to your manifest details to make sure that you're delivering what is stated. You're welcome to head into the depot and visit one of our fine eateries or the like while you wait.
Let's go.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think the crew could use a little relaxation. It's been a long trip.
Most excellent. We will reach out to you when things are all set for you to be on your way.
Okay. All right. Dak will go back and once everybody was standing there on the ramp and heard all that, he'll go back and let everybody know that we're got a little downtime. We're gonna head into one of the local establishments.
Heck yeah.
Well, it works for me. I'm getting food.
Yes.
Perfect. I'll go
Oh.
check on Jib and make sure he's fine and not into trouble.
Yeah. Probably want to make sure he stays in his room. I'm not sure if battle droids would be too receptive of a monkey lizard running loose on the ship.
Yeah, well, I left a vibro dagger hidden somewhere on this ship, so if he
Oh,
finds
no.
it and they board the ship, that's going to be very interesting.
You've only left one?
If I was a betting man, which I am, I suppose my money would be on the battle droids over the vibro dagger monkey lizard.
Actually, me too. I've been trying to train him, and it's going okay, but for now, I don't know. We'll get him there. You'll have your guard monkey eventually.
Right.
So you guys head off the ship and begin to make your way out into the main concourse and everywhere else of the station in this sector, at least, to explore and see what you can get to. So just stepping off the ship and passing through the two battle droids who acknowledge you as you go by. They kind of give you, like, they don't do any checks or anything, but it's more of like a passing reminder as you go by that Nick's Depot is a concealed weapon-free zone. Please make sure you have all legal weapons and permits available if asked for. Enjoy your time here on Nick's Depot as you go by.
Which we do have permits now, right, from our weapon dealer buddy?
You would, yeah, for anything that might not be allowed.
Good thing Jedi don't consider lightsabers weapons. They're an extension of our own body, so this is not a weapon. I can argue that one in court. Bring it on.
So let's take anybody needs to take a quick couple-minute break right now,
Okay.
All right.
and we'll come back and see what you can get into.
Trouble.
Go get some food, that's all.
Yeah.
We're just going for a little meal.
This
Just a little meal.
Yeah,
nothing
fly out
bad.
of here.
Nothing bad ever happens in a cantina in Star Wars.
Yeah.
All right, be right back.
rambling.
Yeah.
I am.
Alrighty. So, as we come back, you guys have just exited the landing port here on Nick's Depot to go enjoy a little downtime as your cargo is unloaded and verified. So it opens up into a. You're in the interior now of this station, something many of you probably have come across multiple times throughout your travels. But this is immediately outside of the bay. There's kind of streets, if you will, that open up, that go out in generally one main direction, and then there's a bunch of side alleys and pathways that split off. But immediately you see different buildings within here, storefronts, restaurants, cantinas, shops, various things here. There's a good amount of traffic. Likely, it's definitely a good sized station, similar to Burnout. You expect that there's people that live here. There's residents that live here. They're probably workers, whatever else. There's all sorts of bustle of people. Among that as well, though, you do see here and there the droids, the B1 droids, kind of just wandering around. Not a lot of them, but they're definitely there. Their presence is there. A small compact speeder goes by as well. There's a couple of these main thoroughfares that are able to support that, just taking deliveries to the various shops and things like that. Anywhere, anything you want to specifically look out for?
These B1 droids, do they seem to be in certain areas and not in others, or is it just kind of random, just like a patrol?
Patrolling.
Yeah, yep, more patrol.
Okay.
Just mostly, definitely more in the main common, pathways. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure if they're like clearly in one part of this city thing and not the other. Might say something, but if they're everywhere, that's pretty standard.
Yeah. It's all good.
So nope, just keep my head low.
Yeah.
Looking out
I'll
for
look
some food.
Heck, I'll look for somewhere to get some food and also maybe pick up a kit or two because I want to get those.
Yeah.
Same.
So you look around and you see a few establishments. Looking ahead, you find one place, the Juicy Blaster, that looks pretty intriguing, and a few places down, you also run into the Happy Bantha. A couple establishments that look to be some good, good places to check out. Get a refreshment, get some grub and whatnot. Dem, asking around, you do find some shops and whatnot that offer some items here and there that you're able to check out.
Nice.
What specifically are you looking for?
I am looking for a poisoner's kit and a disguise kit because
Okay.
I don't have those.
So, talking with a couple people, you're able to find somebody that they look around in their offerings and they say that you might be in luck, have something. Poisoner and what else? Disguise?
Disguise, yeah.
Let's go over to this shelf. This is where we keep all of our poisons for murder.
For murder, I just have a collection, Fine.
So he brings the two kits over to you. Says, "Yep, I have what you need. The disguise kit, 300 credits. The poisoner kit, 625 credits. 925 for the pair."
Really, I feel like you can go a little bit lower than that. I get it. Some of the stuff's a little bit hard to find, but
These parts on a space station, there ain't nothing else around.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I know a lot of people come through here at least.
You can give me a persuasion check if you'd like.
Yeah, we'll try.
Ooh,
Let's go.
nice. Plus 11, ridiculous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So it says, well, I guess we haven't had too many buyers, so I'll let them both go 800 credits out the door.
Sure. Sounds good. Like a fair deal to me.
Does so, hands them over. Takes payment for that, looks around, assuming you all are together. Anything else we can get for the rest of you folks?
Got any sort of toys that might be good for like a Nexu cub? Like a rattler
What?
or something. You know, pet toys.
No, I don't think I have much of that here.
Oh, well, I was hoping.
We'll check.
Do you know anybody who does sell something like that?
No, not off the top of my head. I've got some old leather jacket, I guess you could throw to him, but
How's that a toy?
You know, to chew on. You know?
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, thank you though. I'm looking more for just something that makes noise, but is, you know, it's annoying, but not dangerous,
Oh my God.
kind of a thing. Like a
It's,
rattle.
like, oh yeah, I got one of those back home, but just don't tell her I said that.
Vale just kind
Sam
of
just
look
looks
at
at
him.
him. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just,
Just looks at him. Yeah,
all right,
nice.
thank
Nice
you.
one.
Have a good day.
This guy just have all sorts of random stuff, or is he? It's like it's like the Space Walmart. Just has everything.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's what I thought it was.
It's gonna be, this one is more gear and supplies.
Alright.
Yeah, you don't see any weapons or anything like that.
Okay. Trying to think.
Got
Are there
any?
any-
You'd be surprised to really find a weapon shop around here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got any med packs lying around?
'Cause, yeah, I've got some supply there.
Yeah. I could take a couple here off your hands.
He offers those 350 credits apiece.
Yeah. All right. Sure. I won't. I already got away with the other one, so I'll keep it there.
All right, how many are you taking?
2.
Okay. Credits for that.
Rather not push my luck, you know. Feels like it isn't one of those days for me. Okay. Cool.
Anything else?
I am all good now.
Galen, you put your health up. Token hit.
Yeah, I've done it. I don't know what's going on. I think it's something on your end. I've refreshed a couple times and it's still not. I blame the DM.
Dak, anything?
No, I can't think of anything.
Lan, all set?
I think Lan would be fine on stuff here, but this seems like a good place to maybe pick up some Tinker's implements, which I can't use, but I think Lan should have like Tinker tools.
Okay.
So if that's there, he'll buy that. But if it's not, if this isn't the place, not urgent. He can find it elsewhere.
Yeah, so he pulls those out and says, yeah, we have a set of those, 625 credits.
I'll give you 500.
500? Ain't gonna make me no money.
Well, how about 525? Try to roll it. I'm gonna try to say it in a threatening manner. Try to.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
I was gonna try and scoop in there, but yeah, you got in on the intimidation. Let's go.
He's just like, yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna use inspiration.
Okay.
I'm gonna reroll that.
Oh gosh. Oh.
There you go.
All right.
So the just the deep red eyes, large eyes, in presence of Lan as you come over in your deep gravelly voice, leaning over the counter to this gentleman, just really leaning into your request here and putting that tinge of aggression in your tone. You see him kind of like, he definitely reacts a little bit, kind of jumps back to that and glances over to Dem as well and says, well, okay, I mean, I guess your friend got some things as well, so call it all a package deal. 525 sounds good.
You got yourself a deal.
Anything else?
I'm all good.
So, heading out from the shop, what's next?
Then we'll go to the Happy Bantha and have some food, a couple drinks. Maybe
Yeah.
find a game of sabacc to pass the time.
Oh.
You wander back a couple places and do find the Happy Bantha. Looks like a, as it says, pretty lively place. There's some pretty good music going on, a decent crowd as well. This place caters more towards, like a more of an eatery restaurant than cantina, but they certainly, serve good refreshments in that nature if you're interested. There is a droid server that comes and takes you to a seat, that takes your orders, goes in and puts that in.
All right.
Just having a normal one,
Yeah.
Man, it feels good to be in, I guess, regular civilization and out of that asteroid belt.
You can say
Yep.
that again.
Other than the droid server, there's mostly other humanoids here. Many humans, many other different species, Rhodians, Celestin, just all mix of here and there. And as I said, you can tell that some of them are kind of passersby, maybe fellow cargo deliverers. Some of them may be residents in one way or the other, enjoying themselves, whatnot. Large hollow video screens and whatnot, putting on various news or other information. Got one focused on kind of info about the war, their entertaining stuff, sports, whatever else, football match and pod racing and things. If you take a second to kind of glance at some of those news feeds, the news feed is definitely from, seems to be giving information, headlines and things of the the separatist side of things. So basically the Star Wars Fox News,
Well, as it turns out, is actually
see how
the
many
other way
viewers we
around.
lose right there.
Oh no.
What's that, Dak?
It's kind of, as it turns out, it's actually kind of the other way around. Win at the end.
But they didn't know it until it was too late.
They
Yeah,
didn't know.
yeah.
Do the Separatist News have a narrator at the beginning of the newscast, like the Clone Wars narrator?
All right.
Victory on the front.
That news operator sounds like Colonel Eulerin. That's kind of weird.
So eventually, you get your beverages and food, and are left to enjoy that meal. But early into that, all the screens in eatery change to the same message. Just comes up and says alert, alert. And then there's no person or anything that comes on, but you hear a voice. It is a droid voice that comes on and just says, attention, attention all in Sector 7 of Nick's station. We are now under a state of high alert and going on lockdown. Enemy saboteurs have infiltrated the area, bringing in unlisted cargo. Security troops are now conducting a sweep of the area. Please make sure that you have your identification available. Report any suspicious individuals immediately.
Oh gosh.
And following the message, you do
Fortunate.
see images that look very similar to yourselves appear up on the screens.
It's not us, right? It's a nice coincidence.
Is it an image of the grease monkey Valen?
Yes,
Or
yes.
the clean robed Jedi
No,
Valen?
as you look right now.
Perfect.
Caught on some CCTV, so you're walking by. Like a
So
bunch
tell
of
me,
doofuses.
tell me more about that disguise kit you just picked up there, Dim.
Yeah, you know.
Nearby,
No,
at a table next
a
to you,
sense.
you see a odd-looking group as well. There's a Cathar, a Toydarian, human, and some droids, and they just
Yeah.
you hear one of them just be like, "Man, I've been in that situation before. Hate to be those guys."
Isn't that the heavyweight champion over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that guy, like the guy that beat Sith Jericho. Isn't that him? No, not here.
No.
Wouldn't be here.
Timelines
Huh.
are way fucked up. So.
Very uncanny
Yeah.
resemblance, though.
Papped hours. What was that?
Man, that's gonna be a future Tempest feud, be a time jump.
Yeah. Yeah. Just do
You say
it.
Some-
pabbed
somehow-
hours?
Yeah, I said papped hours. Is that it? The Sith Jericho.
somehow the Tempest feud crew has jumped forward 1,000 years in time.
You know. I've pulled that stunt
They
one too
probably
many times in
found
my
a
own
dark staff
campaigns.
themselves.
As the message does conclude, however, you can sense a little bit of tension in the room, unease. A few patrons seem to get up and leave. There's definitely message has definitely been felt throughout the.
Does it look like people have caught wind of us in the room, or is it just a general, like, they know what this means, they go to
Sure,
ground?
some people have, but
Give me a
Yeah.
perception check.
that's a good question to ask.
I mean, more like does, like when they say,
Is this procedure and
Like,
people are just doing this whenever
the-
there's an alert? Or,
yeah,
you know?
when the Rough Riders come into towns, everybody go into the saloon and board the doors, kind of a thing, or is this more like, yeah, they're right there? What did you
That
say?
is
Perception.
Perception, yeah. Yeah, so you pick out a couple people that kind of give a little bit of like point over their shoulder towards you, but for the most part, it seems like people are kind of just leaving to stay out of here, get out of the way, kind of a thing. You don't get a sense that they're running away from you.
They're just getting out of
It's
the way,
not like,
basically.
oh, watch out, this is the Gularan killers come to take everyone out. It's just, they're following the orders of basically the lockdown and things.
Why does this happen everywhere we go? Like, did we check this cargo? Do we even know what we're transporting?
No, but
Didn't-
we feigned
just-
ignorance, or we can rather.
I thought they said it was just like droid parts and stuff, but
Yeah, well, what kind of droid parts? I mean, technically, a blaster that goes on a battle droid is a droid part. That might land us in some hot water. I don't. Well, I'm not abandoning you guys, but I do have a way to get back to the ship and get out of here. So,
I mean, I'm not
Well, ha-
so sure back to
it
the
ha-
ship would be a
what-
great idea right now.
what way is that? And when did you learn to fly?
well, learn is. You think you're being very generous there, but you know, I can power it up and get it in the air.
Whoever
know
wants
if it'll
to, give
come
me a
back down.
D20, please.
Just a D20. I'll throw one out there.
Okay.
Galen with an 11.
Assuming higher is better.
As you are
You never know.
sitting there eating your meal, or maybe just kind of processing what's going on, you do see one of the fellow patrons kind of looks over and is making eyes at you. Definitely enough of a look that would draw attention. They're not just kind of glancing about. There's definitely a studying by their eyes, and he comes over, says, listen, I'm heading back shop. You all are willing to come along, hide out if needed.
Oh. I mean, yeah.
It sounds better than sitting here, but don't mean to sound ungrateful, but why would you want to help us out?
Well, we just it'd be a little bit better conversation for there, but I can tell you that this isn't the first time for mistaken identity.
I was about
These
to say.
parts.
I know it happens. I mean, this happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Dem would not be one to question right now. And just be like, yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll follow him.
And I'm gonna just quickly take a look at all the abandoned tables and see if there's any like edible food that Jib might want.
Gosh.
We haven't got time for you to be picking up.
It's gonna take 5
Food for
seconds. So I'm just
Jib.
gonna grab like the first thing that looks edible that he would like and try to doggy bag it.
All right, yeah, you grab some and head out, and there's a, as you come out of the restaurant, there's a good rush of people that are kind of working their way to wherever, into their residences, into their shops, just basically getting off the street. And in the distance, Valen, you would probably pick up on this, and then I think Dem, you as well.
Hey.
You pick up on the steady metallic footfalls of droids in the distance. It seems like they are definitely mobilizing much more than before. Can't necessarily see them, but they're out there just amongst the other traffic going on. This individual, this human male, leads you down a kind of a little side pathway into a door in the side of a building there. It looks to be a small, simple residence. So,
Yeah.
it says, what? So, should be fine to hang out here as long as a patrol doesn't come by. Just, I don't know. I just have faith in people, and stuff happens all the time. It's can't really do anything about it, but these droids just come in and have really taken things over. Just figure, in general, anyone on our side not made of bolts, circuits is probably in trouble.
Do you have any idea
Appreciate
what
it.
sort of routine they go through when they're looking for people? Might help us avoid them.
Generally is a pretty thorough check. Identifications for everyone, make sure they're either residents or if they're delivering, just passing through. finding out where they're coming, where they're going, things like that. But depending on the severity of their alert, they've been known to thoroughly search all the residences and shops and whatnot.
You have a place where you can hide people, or at least 3 of us.
Just kind of gestures to the room and says, "This is it."
Okay.
It's getting a
So
little
when they
bit more
come-
out of public.
When they come asking their questions, are there any wrong answers? As in, are there things we should not say? Topics to avoid, that kind of thing. Anything that might draw more suspicion down on us than get rid of it?
Well, they have a visual on who you are, so that's certainly not going to help.
No,
Yeah, if it,
but I mean,
if we get to the-
more.
If we get to the point where they're asking us questions, I think it's we're already in bigger trouble.
Yeah.
I mean more like, would it be a bad idea to say we came from a Republic-controlled world? Would it be a bad idea to those sorts of things? Like, is there just certain things that are going to get you shot, whether or not they're looking for you or not? We know they're looking out for us, but
Yeah,
Dem's already
yeah,
breaking
I'd
out
say
the disguise kit.
don't mention those things. Certainly.
okay. I figured, but so at this point, it's probably a good time to just take off the grease and
Gosh.
clean it up a little bit. But
I have 2 quick questions. One, is have I observed on the station that the B2 battle droids are, like usual, like sort of the higher ranking droids than the standard B1s?
Yeah, you've probably seen few of that. Yeah.
Okay. The language that I can speak is binary.
Okay.
So does that mean that I could convincingly speak it to a droid and they would think I'm a droid if I looked like a droid? Because I have the holographic disguise power,
Okay.
which visually transforms me but doesn't vocally.
Right.
That's why.
It's possible. I guess you can certainly try.
Yeah.
I guess
there you go.
but battle droids speak like words though too, right? Just basic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if maybe the droids just speak binary to each other, when
So
they're-
you
humans
mentioned
are
you said
around.
B2.
Yeah.
So they're the more like the larger silver color, gray colored
Yeah.
battle
Yeah.
droids.
Yeah.
You have not seen any of those, sorry. But because there is like a B1 droid, but there's like an officer version of
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I guess I would just it would have to be something I've seen on the station that I would make my disguise off of. So really, it would be just any B1 that we passed.
Okay.
I just figured if Land saw B2, it'd be like, that's the one I'm gonna be.
Okay. Yeah, nope, you just really
Yeah.
you've only seen just a few guard droids,
Yeah.
and then the 2 that were at the entrance.
Okay, Land creates a holographic disguise of one of the B1s that we saw at the entrance.
and we're in this guy's house right now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, ask him. Sorry, sir. Do you happen to have spare change of clothes?
Yes, I think I could do that.
Yeah, if I could have a set of those, be grateful. And I'll hand him 50 credits. Be like, I know we're taking up a bit of your time, and they're your
You
clothes.
can tell he's
but
very that's a decent amount for him. He's definitely appreciative of it.
it's like,
Hey,
actually,
thank
I'll
you.
give him 150. I'll give him 150 on top of that.
On top.
Or wait, yeah, why not? Make it 200.
Okay. He just eyes light up even more. He's I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Well, I'm gonna take some of your clothes, and I'm also going to probably take a couple tools, just to pad out my disguise a little bit. I can't
Certainly.
look like what I really am. If that makes any sense.
While I guess while Valen's doing that, while the station's on lockdown, is there any way to get a ship off the station, or is it completely shut down?
Are you asking?
Yeah,
The
it's asking
gentleman?
that guy. Yeah, I'm asking that guy.
It's, as long as you pass clearance, generally you can get out of here. But you all being target of the inspection could be a challenge. Now, certainly try and head off. I don't know many pilots that fancy enough for that sort of effort.
Yeah, I only know one.
Hmm.
Certainly plausible, I guess.
Um,
Balin, in passing, you would sense that the gentleman very helpful, very generous and whatnot, but seems a bit just nervous overall in general about this.
Oh,
Something you kind of make note of.
Like nervous how?
Like just a little on edge, not towards you all, but has a nervous tendency. Like he's not very confident.
Okay.
yeah.
He knows he's doing something that's like standing on the razor's edge almost. He
Yeah.
knows he's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I got a disguise kit. Let's go.
So what sort of clothes did I get? Just like basic, like traveling clothes?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, that works. That'll do. Any sort of hood?
Does not have a hood. No.
All right. So that head wrap is. I gotta do something. You got a helmet?
He says, actually, I think I do, and he pulls out basically Star Wars hard hat.
Yep. I'll take that too.
Gosh.
I'll take the wag and wipe off my face and throw it in the corner.
you I assume the separatist droids themselves don't run the I guess the spaceport itself.
No, they're just basically here to patrol it. I mean, they have a good amount of effort of influence, a good amount of influence for things, but I do believe there's somebody else that oversees things. Certainly of the same sympathies. At this time comes a loud, heavy knock at
Man, I was trying to get my disguise kit off.
you can tell that it's a very metallic on metallic knocking on. Gentlemen, your host immediately kind of turns. Seems very color drops a little bit in his. Says, "Oh, dear, this is not well." Lan, have you converted?
Yes.
You okay? All right.
Yes, I'm,
Valen, you've changed
I'm
clothes.
holographic.
Dak and
Yeah.
Dem.
I was trying to get off a disguise kit if I could,
Okay.
but if not, I'll hide under a couch or something. Whatever it takes,
I mean, if you would be working on that during kind of your time
Yeah.
here, that's fine. I'll let that happen.
Okay. Do you want me to roll something for it here?
I forget if it says.
It doesn't specify.
Yeah,
yet.
give me a. With the kit, actually, give me a. Are you proficient in it?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I mean, just give me deception.
Okay. Cool. And deception, please. Okay. There we go.
You all look around and you turn back to Dem. What do you look like?
Yeah, I was reading the description here. It has a bunch of stuff. It has a thing that can holographically make your clothes look different, which I thought was interesting. Um, and yeah, I don't know how far that extends though. So heck, I'll I'll smother myself in, makeup, make myself a different color, whatever it takes. Maybe I'm like red now or something.
Okay.
And then I have like more commoner's clothes rather than, my sort of getup that I had on,
Yeah.
you know.
All right. So yeah, you all turn and you now see a different Twi'lek in your presence, red-skinned, in that different outfit, whatnot. You can recognize her facial structure. That doesn't really change too much, but without really concentrating on it, it would just be a completely different Twi'lek. You also see Valen, dressed very differently, hat on, who, again, a little more recognizable in the face, but going on appearance, otherwise, definitely a different person. And then you have a B1 droid hanging out with you as well.
Yeah.
And Dak,
Dax is gonna look for something somewhere to hide, I guess.
Okay.
He
There you
doesn't, he does not have any disguises.
Yeah.
all right, give me a stealth check. Lan, are
For all
you
of us,
you just
or
hanging
him?
out?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just sitting there looking like a droid.
Nice.
The pounding keeps coming on the door, and the gentleman says, he looks around and he says, I have to answer. They will barge in.
Go for it. Let me do the talking.
Roger,
Or at
Roger.
least-
I'm going to ready force throw
Okay.
and wait until if the battle droids look like they're going to fire on us, like take hostile action, I'm going to pull one into the hovel. The little
Into where
building
you are?
yeah.
Okay.
As long as
Rocket,
is there
so
a
you
clear
know.
sight? Yeah. I mean, as long as there's like a clear way for it to go in, it's not without hitting us.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to get it off the street in case it starts firing. It's not going everywhere, making it visible.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing anything unless they make the first move.
Right. So, gentleman heads over to the door, and Balin, you can sense he's like almost shaking. He's really nervous. Slowly opens up the door and just says hello to the droid. What can I do for you? Droid's just. We are on the search for some saboteurs on the station. Please present your identification and all other occupants of this establishment immediately. Both their blasters just kind of in a relaxed but ready position. Kind of looking into.
Again?
Immediately, they would see you land
Yeah.
in the room and just little confusion noise coming from the droid, and says, "Are you already on patrol? What are you doing in here?"
Roger, Roger. I have already checked the premises for IDs.
Don't have reports of an individual unit out doing patrols. What's your identification number?
I have just been commissioned and I am in Alpha State.
Give me a deception check.
Oh no.
Ready on that inspo.
My greatest weakness.
Yes.
Hey!
Oh!
Oh, look at that.
It's still
Even
only an
with
eight,
the
it's
minus
still,
two.
it's still only an 18 though.
I know, but
Awesome.
Roll a
still,
nat 20
yeah,
and get negative.
perfect
on it.
time. Yeah.
The droids just kind of tilt its head and says, and everyone's clear. Everyone's good.
Indeed.
Well, all right then. Get yourself to maintenance and checked out, and make sure you're assigned to a proper unit.
Roger, Roger.
droids and kind of just one last look around the room to everyone, then head out. Gentleman with you. It kind of slowly closes the door behind him and then just turns around back to the wall and lets out a heavy sigh of relief.
Even droids are mean to droids. What the hell's going on with that?
That was quite impressive. I really thought that was going to be a problem.
It usually is. Dak will just shout from his hiding spot without revealing himself.
Under a couch or something.
To be honest, I am surprised that worked.
That was weird they didn't pick up on your voice, but I guess I'm thankful for it.
Could have just told him he installed one of those masculinity modules that the other ones don't come equipped with standard.
Running Marlboro OS.
Yeah. the smoky voice.
All right,
So I
so
guess-
what's
Yeah, the real question is, how do we get out of here?
Well, if you wait, you need to get back to your ship.
well, I wasn't planning on leaving it behind.
Yeah.
But where are you parked at?
Was it Crush 7?
I think so.
So he says, he thinks on that a second. He says, well, it's not going to be the most concealed way, but you can certainly stick to some of the side pathways. Much less traffic. There's not going to be much traffic in general anyway these times, but stick to the tight spots, tight corridors, and you get most of the way up there. Once you get right up there, though, you're gonna have to hit the main thoroughfare there. So maybe just take some more smooth talking, but before that, you should be able to get up there if you're careful.
All right. Before we leave, because Dak doesn't really want to go out just looking like himself, I guess. He's going to, kind of take Valen's idea and toss the guy some credits and
Gosh. I saw
raid,
him.
raid his closet.
Hey.
Give him 100 credits.
Whatever it takes.
Then,
He's, greatly appreciative of that. Yeah, says, please take something else to help out.
And I assume the communicators we have are kind of just like short range comms, right? I can't like reach out to the dude that hired us, figure out what the hell's happening here. What he's
Yeah,
done.
that would be a little bit difficult.
That'd be
what
from
you
the
have
ship,
now.
right?
Yeah, you'd have to get to like a terminal and.
What about Ufta? We could at least calm him and see what the situation is at the ship.
How's it going? Yeah.
Yeah, like
That is
Darth
true. Yeah, we'll jump on the. Actually, I'm gonna just send a not a message, but like a the equivalent of like a page. So like a ping out to Ufta, so he can answer it if he wants to, without coming across in case he's like around the other droids.
Yeah.
So I'll send that ping to him and see if he responds back to us at all.
There's a few moments that go by. A few moments more. You begin to think, I mean, the droid ain't the smartest thing around, but generally will respond there.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does finally respond and hello, Captain. Yes, something I can do for you.
Are you still on the ship?
Yes, sir. The cargo has been unloaded. I believe they are still processing that. Sounds like there's been an alert amidst the station. Is everything all right?
Unsure at the moment. Is there anybody else on the ship or just yourself now?
It is just myself. The loader droids have taken it all to the holding bay.
Hmm. Understood.
Will you be returning shortly?
No, I don't think so. I think we're gonna hang out here for at least foreseeable future. It's kind of nice.
Sounds good.
We found a good place to hang out at the the Juicy at the Juicy Blaster. We're in a back storage room there, laying low.
What's your dog's name? Sorry, your parents are dead. I don't know if that's where you're going with it.
Sort of.
Yeah, and the droid just comes back and his weird self that you know and just says, sounds excellent, Captain. I will be here waiting, keeping the ship ready for when you do return.
Okay. Well, like I said, it'll probably be a while, but I appreciate the dedication to duty, Ufta.
Of course, sir. Thank you.
All right. That'll be the end of the cut. Beep. Turn it off.
That's pretty clever. Telling them that the one place we're at when we're not there. I like the spycraft stuff.
Didn't in my first Blurg rodeo.
Well, I guess that's the next question. How do we get back to the ship and actually check on how things are? I can
Well,
slip out and disguise myself, but only myself, and I could make it to the ship, but I'd be going it alone and I wouldn't know what to do when we get there. That was my earlier suggestion, was to slip out and avoid eyesight from people and stick to the shadows, and then maybe me and Ufta could pilot it back and make a quick pickup, but
well,
I don't know
I
if
don't
that's
think
such
you
a
can-
good idea.
I don't think we can do that in a space station. There's no like.
Yeah, no, you
Fly
guys are like
up
in an
and-
interior part.
Yeah.
Then no. That is a bad idea.
But between Dem's disguise kit, Land's surprisingly effective holographic disguise, you can do things, I think, to stay hidden. And then I don't know this guy's name that's helping us out here. I should ask him what his name is. But according to this guy here, we might be able to sneak back through some of the side alleyways to make our way back to the spaceport. There are ships in docking bay.
And Valen will turn to the guy. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm Valen. I didn't catch your name.
Nice to meet you, Valen. My name is Bela.
Bela?
Bail Organa?
Bela. Bela Ghana.
Barely gonna what?
Do you happen to know anybody that could cause a distraction for us? Like people who like to light up fireworks or cause a rock car, good fun. Nothing
seem
where
kinda
anybody
like,
gets seriously hurt.
like twitching his fingers and his hands in nervous energy. He says, no, unfortunately.
Hmm.
Sorry.
Well, that was another plan I had. Pay
One, two-
some local dissidents to start trouble, throwing garbage at droids or something.
You can always do your invisible trick that you pulled in that lab that one time.
And just start throwing things around?
No, I was just saying they're looking for 4 people. If we go outside and there's one guy, a battle droid, and a Twi'lek, that doesn't really match up with what they're looking for. That
It's
may
not a
help
bad
us stay
idea.
a little bit less noticeable.
It's not a bad idea, actually. I guess the only issue would be if they know they're looking for a Twi'lek. I mean, do they? When we saw that bulletin, did it list us like with our face and species and everything?
It was more just like a visual, but yeah, I mean, it was, as I said,
Okay.
basically a security footage coming out of the landing bay.
Yeah.
With Crush 7 just written right over the. Okay. Yeah, I think I don't really have anything else I can do. If I could turn someone else invisible, I would do that too, but it's a trick and a half just doing it for myself. Eventually I'll practice it and be able to do that, but for now, it's not a bad idea. At least then, like you said, it'll not raise as much suspicion. How long does your disguise last, Lan?
I think it lasts for an hour. Let me see.
It's about how long I can keep up the illusion on myself before I'd
Yeah,
have to do it again.
it's 1 hour. But Lan, after you, Valen, you said it's a trick to make someone else invisible. Lan says, "It's interesting that you say that." Pulls out a little device he's been working on. Says, "I just might happen to be able to turn one of you invisible, or well, sort of shimmery. I might be able to see if you can look closely." So Lan can cast a tech power that'll make someone invisible for an hour as long as he
Okay.
concentrates on it.
Is your one that you're casting on yourself now concentration?
It is not. Holographic
Oh.
disguise doesn't
Oh.
count as concentration.
Well, Captain, I think we found your disguise after all. Unless Dem doesn't trust her disguise.
I feel fine about my disguise.
Probably save that for Dak then. At least then everybody's got something.
All right, works for me.
Balo chimes in, and he says, just kind of listening to your discussion, and says, "We are a decent trek away from the landing port. It sounds like you have some limitations. Your disguises and whatnot. It might take a good hour or so to get from the side routes up to the landing port. If you feel confident, you can go straight up the main thoroughfare and get there well under. But of course, there could be extra patrols, checkpoints, etc. that will also slow you down. So keep that in mind."
But what about these side paths? If everybody's being funneled into the main one, they have enough eyes to watch that, and then they'd have enough eyes to go fan out and search the side areas, wouldn't they? Wouldn't we stand out more in the side passages than we would in the thoroughfare?
They're quite utilized, even in normal days. These paths, so you get the sense that they're like, back alley type, or not even that, like between buildings and things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes some work to kind of get through some of them. It's certainly not just a normal path that anyone would be going through. So it's more of like there wouldn't be an expectation. There's some validity to your thought, but to your concern, but.
And then what about the CCTV cameras? Are those security cameras going to be all over these side alleys too?
Cameras?
If the cameras are everywhere, it's no matter what path we take, that's going to end it really quick if somebody's able to connect the dots.
It could be.
So, I guess it's about what risk we want to take.
Well, I say we take the side path, as is, and when we get to the point where we're going to have to go through the main areas when we activate or use any of the extra things that don't last as long.
Okay.
So if the side paths work, we should need to go completely invisible. I guess have it at the ready in case we need to use it.
Still
Not
trying
sure if
and
there's
move a
any-
little bit stealthily, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lan, I'm not sure. Is this just something I push a button and activate, or how does this thing work?
I have to slap it on you. Once I do, you're good for an hour. Then it'll fizzle out. If you do anything sneaky or suspicious, or you go blasting it off your blaster at one of these droids, they're gonna find you.
All right.
All right, so you guys heading out, taking the side paths.
Yeah, and I
Yep.
think Valen's not gonna. He's not gonna do the force camouflage yet.
Okay.
It's gonna wait until.
How long
He's
does
gonna keep
yours
his
last?
ears open. I think it's an hour.
Okay.
But he's gonna keep his ears open, and then if he hears anything, just poof.
So it's been a good few more minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes or so since you guys, first arrived. So, Lan, you still have your initial disguise up, holographic disguise, but clock is running on that. And then are you initiating that now onto Dak?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm
Dak.
casting now.
Okay. And then
If you're doing that, then maybe Malin should just also do that. Another hour, yeah.
well, that one's for Dak, right? The infiltrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just saying, if they're both an hour, then,
I just figured I wouldn't do mine until it actually became necessary to do it. It'd run out the clock a little longer. And
All right.
Before we leave, I wanted to talk to. Is it Bela or
Bela, yeah.
Bela.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to take out 500 credits
Oh my gosh.
and put it in his palm and just kind of look him in the eye. It's like, we were never here. And you had a really good night at the sabacc table. Do you understand what I'm saying? And just move my hand away with
Kind
the
of
credits.
just stares at you and
You did really well at sabacc.
give me a quick persuasion check.
You got a 0, a 2, and a 3.
Oh no.
I mean, no, I really need this to happen. I'm inspired. Like,
Not
I
even
really...
a high DC.
No, it's not. What was that again? Persuasion. Like, you got an idiot's array. It should be pretty happy with that.
After the initial shock and whatnot comes off, he says, "Yes, of course. Thank you so much. And
Don't thank
and
me.
best of
Thank
luck.
Lady Luck.
best of luck." Yes.
Like, and with that, I'll just say, may the force be with you. Just kind of tip my head, and if we're walking out the door, we'll go out the door.
So, are you being stealthy as you move through the side areas? You going at a normal pace? What is your going to be a little slower if you go stealthily. Normal pace will probably take you, that full hour, maybe a tad more. Could rush it and try to gain ground as well.
What do we think? If we're
I
gonna,
mean, I don't know.
if we're gonna rush it, I might as well turn invisible. I'm gonna camouflage myself and just run.
I guess I'd say just move it at like a regular pace unless we start hearing or noticing droids around. I mean, if it's just kind of empty pathways, let's just keep moving.
Yeah.
That's
I
fair.
agree.
Right. Begin heading out in basically this route that Bela plotted out for you. you see immediately how he mentioned that, this is like at some points going one person wide, almost turning sideways to squeeze through these narrow crevices between buildings and things. It is certainly not a normal pathway, but you can see how they connect to each other, having to cross over some main pathways here and there. But it kind of gets to where you're going. As you move along, at first, the first bit or so, doesn't seem like there's really anything there paying attention. Give me a perception check. Nice.
Ooh.
Right. Valen, you hear something up ahead as you guys are getting to a junction here where you kind of have to cross. It's not a main path, but it's enough of a path that there could be some traffic, and you do hear the clanking of metallic feet coming down the way, and if you pass through, they're likely going to notice you going from one side to the other.
I'll quickly inform the others. Droids up ahead. Probably should disguise ourselves. And
Yeah.
with that, I'll cast force camouflage on myself and poop.
Okay. So you disappear from view, and left is a red Twi'lek and a B1 droid.
Hello. All right. Well.
I think this time you should do the talking, damn.
Yeah.
Let's tell them that you found me broken.
Okay. That sounds like a good idea. We'll
Valen,
try it out.
I'll say with that check, you kind of peek out, and their attention is not down your way, but they're nearby.
Okay. So it's like a crossroads almost.
A little
They
bit,
could be
yeah.
somewhere around there. Okay. I would have relayed that information to them too.
Yeah. Basically, backs are turned.
Okay. So if we just walk casual, we'll probably be okay.
Yeah, let's just go like we're, with my force of personality, just walking all confident, strutting down the street.
You
With
own you own the street. What?
Yeah.
Why can't you walk down the
It's my
street?
street.
You guys just
Come
have to go to the other side. They're down the way.
Yeah, I'm just saying either way.
Okay.
That's sort of the personality I'm putting off with my friend here, my little B1 droid. All right, come on.
So, Galen and Dak, give me stealth checks.
Oh my
You get-
god.
you get, like-
well,
When you do a stealth check while you're invisible, though,
Do you get advantage on that?
I
Does it say
think
you
so.
do or not?
It doesn't specifically say it in like the description, but if you're invisible, I thought. Otherwise, what's the point?
Oh,
It's
I got
just
inspiration. I'm gonna.
yeah.
You can't
Use
use
it,
it. You
Totally
can't,
going to use that.
no, you can't gift that one.
Nope. You
Oh,
can't.
no.
How do I gift it back to him?
Hover
didn't work.
over.
It's double click.
I think I clicked it and then
We go conditions invisible,
I don't know how to give it back.
I'm putting it in the
and that's
description.
the starship conditions. I don't want starship conditions.
Ah, thank you.
What power did you use, Valen?
I believe it was force camouflage.
Invisible creature is impossible to see without the aid of powers or a special sense. For the purpose of hiding, the creature is heavily obscured.
He's invisible though. He's not silent.
Yeah.
You can still make
Oh, you can
noise.
certainly-
They just
yeah.
will have a hard time figuring out where it came from. But
Right. So
Okay.
I tripped over a garbage can.
yeah, fortunately.
They might reasonably assume it was me or them.
So Dak, you get through all right. And then the other two, as you guys are crossing through, Valen comes up and just runs in to kick something across the alley here. And there's a loud clang. And immediately, two droids turn around and look down the alley. And they see a red Twi'lek and a B1 droid. Call out, "Halt! What are you doing?"
Hey, I'm taking this this droid here to try and get him fixed. You know where I can do that?
Pardon me? What authorization do you have for that?
Just trying to be a good Samaritan.
And then they just kind of turn to you, Lan, and say, please state your identification number. What are you doing out here with this?
Lan says, Roger, Roger. This meatbag has requisitioned me pronto ASAP to be repaired. I'm in alpha state and I must be reset.
Give me a deception check at advantage.
Yeah.
So he's pretending he's messed up. So there you go. He's got the wrong everything. Wrong.
Yeah. I was like, yeah.
All right. The droids look at each other and are just like, okay, I'll move along and hurry up. And they kind of turn. As they turn, they turn, and then their backs are now blocking your pathway to get through. Valen and Dak, you're kind of behind Lan and Dem, but these two droids are blocking the little like continued corridor that you would go down. Because the two droids are kind of like suggesting that you go out to the main thoroughfare and up to go to repairs.
I mean, yeah. We already got one thing here. Might as well just go for it.
So, the droids are basically interposed between us and the rest of the group. At this
They're
point?
in between where you guys need to go into the corridor on the other side.
Oh, okay.
So they're
I
like
see.
standing there talking to you, and then they kind of turned around. They opened themselves up to you for you guys to go down the hallway.
Is that the one we wanted to go down?
No,
Oh.
they're suggesting, basically gesturing Lan and Dem, you know, why are you here in these side alleys? Get to the main thoroughfare to go to repairs.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm fine with them. We already got, past these guys. We just keep going.
No, you can't get. I think it's the problem is you can't get to where Valen and I are. We're in the Valen and I have crossed the street into the side alley.
But my thing is that is there not any other way that we could possibly get around? Because my understanding of alleys is that you can, go out and then around.
You guys, Dak and Valen, you're not in there yet either. You came out into the
Okay,
alley,
see?
made the racket, and then
Oh, I thought you said I crossed over. Okay.
no.
Yeah, that's what I thought they were they step between us
No.
and them.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're still together.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to talk or say anything because I'm scared of the natural one.
Yeah.
Just kind of we'll somehow follow whatever Dem goes.
Them, just trying to.
The droid
definitely
kind of
not
speaks up
gonna-
and says, initially it talks to the droid, but then, it turns to you, Dem, and says, this thing, droid must be lagging. Hurry up and get it to repairs. What are you standing around for?
Yeah, I'm just going around, going through the main way here. Trying, giving up on the side streets here because I'm not gonna start beating up droids.
You make your way down the alley, and as you come out, you see that it's quite deserted. There's not really the only few maybe citizens that you see kind of collar up, head down, looking just hurriedly going toward where they need to go. There's definitely a much higher presence of droids out and about. You do see, in addition to the B1s, there are a couple B2s here and there now joining the search. You can see that happening as well. All the residences being inspected, patrols going by, searching to try and find this group. The other two invisible, you guys are just tagging along.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to stick as close. I want to stick as close as possible, just in case we have to say something. Won't be so odd that they hear a random voice stick out, but just kind of start looking for any sort of opening we can take to get closer to the ship and away from the droids.
Yep.
Where are you going, looking to go when you get out to the main runway?
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out whichever way I can get to the ship here. I'm feeling, or at least Dem's feeling confident about her abilities, so she's, wherever way it's gonna take us to get there, we're gonna try and go.
Lan, you think you might have 15 minutes or so left on your disguise. Might be muted.
I can spend the tech points to re-up it.
Okay.
It'll only cost me 2. I've got enough. So when I do that, would you say if the effect is overlapping when I cast it, there would be some kind of disruption and people would be able to see through it?
Give me a technology check.
Okay. Oh, it looks like I lost connection to.
Yeah, a couple people dropped.
Okay,
Because you're back in now.
okay, good. My connection's been kind of spotty tonight anyway.
Right. There is a. So yeah, you go to reset that up. There is a shimmer through what you look like, and you don't think anyone noticed.
Ooh, I got lucky.
Let's hope.
You now stand in the main thoroughfare of this station, and in the distance, you can see kind of the entrance area into the ports, landing ports and bays of the station. In the far distance, there's probably at least 1 or 2 more main intersections here to get through. Droids again, one all over the place. How are you guys continuing?
Very careful.
There's not really like buildings or anything we could crawl along the top of, are there?
Not really, no.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of any way to get around them. They're gonna be watching our ship. I mean, if they picked us out of the crowd, they've
Yeah.
got to know how we came here. Like that'd be silly to think they're not. So I guess it's a matter of getting to the ship before they can catch wind of us being there and getting out without having to blast our way out. So I don't really know what to do here. I mean, I can just force camouflage again, and Dak and I could sneak our way to the ship, but then that would leave you two, and that's not ideal at all.
Well, the invisibility on Dak is going to last less time than my holographic disguise. Because I don't have enough points to recast that, and I just recast my disguise.
How many points do you have?
I have 2 out of 9 now.
Ah,
Oh wow. So
so you remember we took a rest, right? So you did recharge those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, since we rested, I've done 1 infiltrate and 2 disguises, which makes
Oh, okay,
7.
gotcha.
probably do need to pop off down the alley if you're gonna materialize. If we're gonna materialize back into existence. At
Yeah, I
least
say we just let's just cut back into one of the alleyways and continue to work our way.
Yeah. Sure. Just keep working our way forward. I don't have any powers or anything that I can do otherwise, so we're just going.
You are able to, if you want, to get back into that kind of off path that Bela mentioned. Of course, that'll slow you back down, and then you're aware, Dak, you will likely come out of your skies through that because of the slow go, unless you try to push a little bit and be a little faster. Otherwise, you could just, try and go through the main street here, main thoroughfare here, and
That's what I was saying. You gotta
be the other
find
option.
find cover. I'm fine just trying to go for it because I feel like either way we're not gonna have a great time.
well, I only mean if we're gonna rematerialize from being invisible, we'd probably best to do it out of sight.
Do we have
even
any?
if we still
Yeah, I guess do we have any kind of indication on how close we are to the? I mean, because we left the docking bay, obviously, I guess, to walk. Do I guess we have any idea how close we are to it at this point?
Like time wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably 10 minutes at a normal pace.
If we stay on the main.
Yeah,
Okay.
5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, let's just stay on the main
stay on
main
the
path then. Yep.
I figured, worst comes to worst, we just bolt. We gotta, I'm not.
Always make a run for
Dem
it.
is definitely not one to like overthink things too much. Just wants to, try and get it. Figures that worst comes to worst, we'll make it out. So, all right, Hanway, let's go.
All right. Do we have any idea how long, like, my ability will still be active? I think it only lasts an hour.
You're pretty close with Dak, I think. So you guys will probably have 15-20 minutes.
Okay, so we are cutting it close. But,
Yeah.
All right. Yep, let's do it.
All right. You and Dak, give me stealth checks again. Dem and Lan, give me
Yeah.
deception checks.
Oh yeah. Okay. Do that. That's a natty
Oh.
1. I'm gonna use my
Roll
inspiration.
back.
Da-da-da. Let me.
Oh, no.
do it too. Oh my god.
Oh,
It's still a 12, but
Yeah,
not
still
great.
12. So
All right. So
I think I've done that like twice now on your
Dem,
campaigns.
you might be a little overconfident. You just kind of, not keeping to yourself, just overly walking around like you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing. And but Lan keeps you a little bit more in check in his disguised self. So
Okay.
I think that he kind of reels you in, but you're not really aware of that.
Yeah.
But in Dak and Valen, you guys are kept quite quiet and to yourselves. No one really picks anything out. So you eventually get the rest of the way into the main entrance to the starport, the landing bays here on the station. You enter that, and you do see that there's lots of droid traffic here. They basically have a station set up, checking anyone that wants to come through. Any other pilots and crews, they have to go through a pretty significant check to be verified that they can continue on. Yeah, basically airport security.
No. All right. Just I don't know, unless anyone has any ideas here.
I think at this point it's almost like a straight sprint to the ship. Get to the ship, get it going, and get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
It's like I think everything should probably be geared towards that. So get ready to run, Dak. Unless
I
you
think-
want me flying the ship, you probably should get ready to run.
That's
No,
fair.
Dak and Valen, if you want, give me perception checks. Valen, you, yeah, you see a couple spots in this checkpoint line that you think you might be able to, you and Dak, squeeze through. You know, it's not like you have to go through a gate or anything, so there may be an opportunity for you two to slip through.
I was gonna ask about if I could either find a place like behind another group that's gonna get ushered through and just kind of, tag along behind them and get
Right.
through it, or if there's just like openings in it. But yeah, I would. Well, Dak's invisible. Gonna try to go ahead and find a stealthy way through the this checkpoint here, thinking that if he can get to the ship first and at least start getting the thing ready, if the other ones have to run and jump on, at least they'll be able to take off quick.
So you, in from where you are, you guys came through this point here earlier. You're a good 3 to 4 bays down from this area. Going off to the left around. So, 3 bays down to get yours. But yeah, if you want to do that, give me a stealth check as you try to weasel your way through. You are able to. You get past finding a little gap in the checkpoint line, and you get to the other side unnoticed, still invisible, standing there. There's still plenty of other, pilots and other crews and droids around. Valen, doing the same?
Yeah, but I don't want to leave Dem and Lan out of sight.
Okay.
Or still be within sight of them if we do this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
until you leave. Yeah, so
Okay, so that's stealth. Yeah, just gonna hop over and try to imitate as best I can.
all right. So you get through and you brush against a droid unknowingly on your way through. It's like some other people kind of get close and you're just trying to avoid them on your right side and you forget your left side. And the droid kind of looks around, noticing something. And then you're able to step past them. And the droid immediately just reaches out and grabs this other random pilot
Oh no.
and just kind of like hits him with the butt of his gun. It's just like, watch what you're doing there. And the pilot's just like, what? He's just confused and like, what's going on?
Valen's just gonna kind of gonna tiptoe forward, get away from him as quickly as possible.
Them and Lan, you eventually get into the line up to the spot to get checked through. At first you hear, please present identifications, and then the droid kind of looks up and then it says, wait, turning to you again, Lan. What is your identification number? What is going on here?
I said I step off to the side with Lan and the other droid, I suppose.
Error.
Yeah, I gave him my identification. He came by to my house, and he's just sort of been acting like this. And I got an error message telling me to turn him in for repairs. I don't know.
The droid kind of looks to his counterpart, and there's a droid shrug. Give me a deception check, Dem.
Yeah. No more natty ones. Yay.
Nice.
After the
What I'm
droids
built
kind of look at each other and says, "All right, carry on."
Thank you. And yeah.
So, you all four, in one way or the other, have made it past the checkpoint here. Again, there are still plenty of droids patrolling the halls and whatnot. You can't see your bay yet. It's a little bit around the corner as things wrap around, but you're about 3 bays away to get to that.
Mhm.
Amongst all the other traffic going on here, we'll actually end there tonight. We'll pick up next time to see you guys can get to your ship and up out of this place.
Dun dun dun.
Find out what the hell this guy sent us on this job for.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
I had an
You
idea
guys said
for.
this is your friend.
I know.
Can't trust Hapens, can you?
His name's Art. Is it name's what the heck was his name?
Armand.
Armand, yeah.
I just picture him with
Oh.
like wavy brown hair and just that like half open. Just I am regal and refined.
Armand, and he had to throw in the
Yeah.
Stella says hi, and I was like, oh, all right, this is a good job.
He's a con man. He swindled us.
Yeah. Sure, it's just a
We'll see, we'll
misunderstanding.
see.
He seems super rich, so I'm sure we'll be able to figure it out.
I had an
Yeah.
idea for how to distract people in the starport. It's kind of good. I don't know how well it would work, but it was kind of funny. I was just gonna stand on top of some abandoned like crate or something or whatever and just shout, "It's a bomb!" and then use force repulse and just destroy the area. And then I'd get launched and pretend to get hit by this bomb.
Oh no.
Oh, we shall see.
Keep that in your back pocket in case you need it, I guess.
Right? All right, guys.
Gotta
Good
get
stuff.
everyone on the
Alrighty.
ship.
We will see you
All right.
next time.
Sounds
Oh,
good.
yeah.
See you guys.